Welcome everyone, today we have a very special builds guide for Diablo 4. As you guys can see behind me, this is a 100 tier Barbarian solo play. So what we're looking at is, we're going to look at the new Barbarian that is, many times nerfed, but it's still very powerful. So here my friend Koshiro is going to demonstrate us how to solo tier 100 with his new Barbarian build. And right away you guys can see, he is actually using Flay for the additional damage reduction. And this makes him almost invulnerable or killable in tier 100. What I'll do is, I'll show you guys the entire replay of this Barbarian versing different elites, versing different monsters. And with a combination of the skills and also defensive mechanics, he is actually very durable in the highest tier difficulties. And this also means that with the latest buff that is coming with Barbarian, so during the making of this build and also this recording, Barbarian was not buffed yet. With the latest buff, the Barbarians will be even stronger. Now over here, we want to see a little highlight, so you can see at least 6 different elites in the same map, and let's see how strong and also how tanky our Barbarian is. Of course, at the moment, his Barbarian is not built for the most damage, so this is one of his first testing runs, and he wanted to see how durable he can become. You can see that is once that he got very low, under 30% HP, but after clearing out some of the minions and also elites, he is much more durable. And you can see he also does very decent damage. Of course, he can be expecting his skills for more damage, but during the testing of this replay, we want to see how tanky the Barbarians can be, and it's very good. Now, even with the latest nerfs and also the a tanky build for the Barbarian, he was able to clear this dungeon within about 11 minutes, and this is actually quite fast for tier 100. So here what I'll do is, at the end of the video, we'll be able to show you his stats, his gears, and also his choice of legendaries. And this also shows you his paragons and also all the specs. What you can notice is, during halfway of the fight, he actually ran out of the elixirs. So this is a fight of the Nightmare Dungeon 100 without using elixirs on the second half. Now a big thank you for Koshiro for making the mobilities guide for us as well. He has perked all the skill trees, all the Paragon levels, and everything he used for tier 100. There are some potential variations, and what we'll do is, we'll first look at his gears and also legendary effects of choice, and then we'll look into the skills and also paragons for this Barbarian build. Of course guys, we're using the Flay for additional damage reduction, which can be stacked up to 4 times. Now you can also use Launch Strike for additional berserk and also more mobility. So coming over to the items. Now we'll focus on Affix and also legendary effects. For the first one, he's going to get damage reduction with Iron Skin and also provides Unstoppable. Now with the Affix, he's going with Armor, Maximum Fury, cooldown reduction and also Maximum Life. Those are some of the ideal stats for damage and also utility and also survivability. Notice that for most of the gears, he's going with damage reduction, armor, or any way of survivability. Now as for the chest, you can see that he's going with triple damage reduction. Now it is possible to go with armor over damage reduction over here as well, but both of those stats are very good. You can see the legendary effects will be the basic attack, reduce damage by 20% for 5 seconds. Now as for the gloves, he's going with attack speed, critical chance, rank 2 Hammer of Engine, and also all stats. There is a small highlight I want to notice over here. Some of the Barbarians are going with lucky hit, but you're gonna see on his weapons, he's also preferring with all stats, which will give him more stats, more durability, and also more chance of getting more additional effects with the Paragon of the Rare Knots. Now the legendary of choice for the gloves are gonna be the critical strike with core skills provide you with additional attack speed. This is also a major theme of this Barbarian build, so he is very fast with his attacks. Together with Flay and also together with increase of attack speed, his Hammer of Engine is actually spamming a lot more often and getting more fury. Now as for the pants, usually you want a pants that implicitly provide you with bonus barrier when under 30% HP. And here he's going with bonus armor, maximum life, close damage and also fortified damage reduction. He can also go with bleeding damage reduction over life, and this is a choice as well. But the maximum life over here is also really good to become more durable. Now the legendary effect over here is that while at maximum fury, you'll be gaining more fortify, and this is quite important to constantly stay on fortify for the Barbarians. Now coming over to the boots over here, again you can see that he's favoring with all stats, strength and also movement speed. Finally, he's going with fury cost reduction for the boots, which is quite important to spam the Hammer of Engine. Over here, he's favoring into more damage to gain 20% more crowd control and also deal 40% more damage to unstoppable enemies. He can also go with the mobility boots, but here he's going with more survivability and also more damage for tier 100. Now as for the two-handed weapon of choice, he's going with each point of fury generated at the maximum fury provide you with more core skill damage, up to 60%. You can see the affix of choice is strength, vulnerability, critical damage, and also close damage. It is possible to go with core damage over here, or maybe all stats. Now, it is quite important to get a high damage weapon, but if you don't have the right affix, you would want the right affix over the high damage weapon. He has compared the 813 weapon, I believe, with the 800 weapon. Because one of the affix was wrong, this 800 weapon is actually doing more damage than the 813 weapon, because one of the missing affix. Now coming over to the one-handed sword, yes, he's still picking the sword even after the latest nerf to the critical strike damage. As for the sword, he's going with vulnerability damage, critical strike damage, and also strength and also close damage. As for the legendaries, he's gaining more damage with the availability of resource, up to 20%. Now for the second sword, notice that he's going with all stats, strength, critical damage, and also vulnerability damage. Ideally, you want critical damage, vulnerability damage, and also strength. All stats is pretty nice to get more boost of survivability. And over here, he's gaining more core damage with each of the basic skill attacks. And because he's attacking with a two-handed weapon with Flay, he's gaining a lot of that. Now the legendary effects for the rings are pretty straightforward. He's going with the shouts that provide him with 4 fury and also the cooldown shout reduction. Now in terms of the affix choice for the rings, he's going with critical trance, critical damage, resource generation, and also maximum fury. And you can see over here, it is similar on the second ring as well. And you can see the legendary effect for the lower cooldown reduction with the shouts. Now finally, for the amulet, he's going with cooldown reduction, fury reduction. And over here, you can see he has strength percentage and also wall up passive. We'll have a look at this very soon. So in terms of the defensive legendary effects, he's going with bonus armor, which provide him up to 45% bonus armor. I know this one was nerfed massively. This used to be like 75%, right? And let's have a look at the affix he has picked and also what other utilities you can pick. Now over here, the additional bonus strength is actually really good. You can see that actually has a lot of strength. So you can see he has over 1271 strength, and having additional bonus strength also means he gets bonus armor. So percentage strength is actually not bad for the Barbarians in terms of bonus armor and also bonus damage. Now let's have a look at the wall-up passive gossip. So here, this is the wall-up passive, which provide him with more blunt weapon damage when enemies is stunned or vulnerable. This is actually pretty good for 15% more damage. Now usually Barbarians will want heavy-handed. This is because having the two-handed weapon provides you with a massive 15% more bonus to your existing critical strike damage. If you are 400%, 15% of that is 60% bonus critical damage. Now of course, it is much harder to reroll for that particular passive on the amulets over here. So he went with the second passive that still provides him with some damage. Now in order to make things a little easier, we're going to come over to the rings to have a look at the choices of the Malignant Heart. Now here is something interesting. He's actually not using a Barbara Heart. So here he's going with the Revenge Heart, providing him with damage suppression and some AoE fire damage. It's going to have lots of defensive skills, and this is quite important. Now the second gem choice is providing him with more critical damage. So this is the gem that most cards wants to use with more critical damage. Now finally, in terms of the worth for heart, he's going with the Malevolent Pact, which provide him with bonus attack speed, bonus chance to restore resource, and also chance to gain a barrier. So most of the people are still going with Barbara, but in terms of choices, our friend here actually mentioned that he wants more attack speed and also more fury gain to deal more damage over time, because he doesn't need a massive damage number with Barbara. He already does over 10 million damage or 20 million damage with his critical hits. Now one thing to notice over here, I believe our friend had a little typo over here. So for the expertise of the Barbarians, he's going with a two-handed axe, not a two-handed mace. So you guys are aware of this one. So here it is a two-handed axe expertise, and this provides him with more vulnerability damage and also more critical chance against vulnerable enemies. Now briefly going through the skills and also paragons. It is pretty straightforward compared to most of the Hota Barbarians. There is not much variability at the moment, but the first thing is he's using Flay over Launch Strike. and this will provide him with a chance of providing vulnerability, especially when using a two-handed weapon, and also additional damage reduction. So over here, he's gaining 12% more damage reduction because of this. The Thorns gain is not a big deal, and in comparison, he can go with Lunge Strike for more utility. But in testing something more durable and also providing him with more bleeding, he's going with a Flay as a testing for tier 100. And as you guys gonna see in the replays, he is very durable. Combined with all the skills and also choices of items, he is able to tank tier 100 with a Barbarian. Now most of the other skill choices are quite straightforward. You're gonna get vulnerability with core skills, you're gonna go with your shouts, you're gonna go with a passive for your shots, and you're gonna go with the Pit Fighter and also No Mercy. Together with heavy-handed and also wall-up, he's going to do more damage. So I don't think we need to go anything into more details. So I think the final passive I want to focus on is the variability over here. He's going with 1 point into Tempted Fury and also 3 points into Invigorating Fury, which provides him with additional life as he spends more Fury. So this is one way of self-healing together with the shouts that also provides him with more healing over here. Now if we come over to the board for the tier 100 Barbarian, you can see it is quite straightforward. We're going with the similar glyphs for the Barbarians with the vulnerability ones and also the increase of critical strike damage. Together with the magical knots over here with the two-handed weapon damage and also the cooldown reduction to the shots. Here we'll go with some of the increased damage for fortified, and finally we'll go with the increased damage to close targets. What you can also notice is that he's purposely perking out for more defensive perks. If you're going with a more offensive Barbarian or farming Barbarians, you don't have to go as far for those defensive perks. But if you want to be an unkillable Barbarian, this can be very good for your build. Now briefly going through the skill rotations for the tier 100 Barbarian. You can see that he has 3 shots, and usually when you see enemies, when there's more enemies, you use your shots, and this allows you to gain the cooldown reduction and also gain all the buffs with Berserk. Now during the fight, he's going to be spamming Flay, which provides him consistently with 4 stack of damage reduction. Together with Iron Skin, Flay and also End Skin also provides him with more unstoppableness and also damage reduction. Now as for Hammer of Ancient, you really do want to wait for your maximum fury to be using Hammer of Ancient, and with 1 to 2 hits you can be spamming down a lot of monsters. Do keep in mind, with a higher attack speed, you still want to spend the Hammer of Ancient at maximum fury, because the passive of Hammer of Ancient that deals more damage with maximum fury, and also the additional legendary effects that deals more damage after casting of basic spells. So the skill rotation will be casting of basic spells 1 to 3 times. With maximum fury, you cast Hammer of Ancient, and you can smack enemies down while yourself is very durable. Now again, I want to mention that as you guys see the replays, you can see our friend actually ran out of elixirs. So during the later half of the fight, he was actually not using any elixirs. This could mean more damage, more critical chance, or even more armor to become unkillable. Now if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4. So what I do now is I'll provide you guys with an entire replay of the tier 100 runs, together with the highlights of his item choices and also legendary effects, paragon levels, and also skill choices. So you can have a glimpse of the highlight of the choices of the builds for tier 100 for the Barbarian. And a big thank you for Koshiro for sharing us this replay and also the build for the Barbarian for tier 100. Pretty excited for the latest buff to the Barbarians. And together, we'll be looking into new builds for the Barbarians, including Charge, Leap, and also Ground Stomp.
Not ready yet. must wait. Not ready yet. Ready yet. Not ready yet. Ready yet. Ready yet. Ready yet. I must wait. You have made a grave mistake this day.
Now before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.